and welcome to my knitting podcast. My name is Irma and you can find me on YouTube, Ravelry and Instagram as Wolwerkjes. Welcome to everybody. I hope you are healthy and safe in this strange period. I am here to show you all the things I am making. I do that every 2 weeks, although I have to say I missed one last week. I did record, but by the time I was able to upload the video it wasn't relevant anymore. So I skipped it and I am recording now. So I hope you enjoy my content and I will start with the episode. First, there is like something finished over here and I will stand up to show you. This is a sweater I made for my husband, so it's not mine. I will say I think I will steal it sometimes from him. Don't say. Because it's fitting me as well, so that's really nice. The only thing is that the sleeves are way too long for me because his arms are way longer than mine, but yeah, I don't mind. It's a pattern by Arne and Carlos in one of their books. It's the Norwegian knits with a twist, and it's their setesdal inspired sweater. So it's not a traditional setesdal sweater, but it's inspired by that type of sweater, and of course it really looks like a Scandinavian sweater, at least to me. So very nice. Construction was very interesting. You knit the body part up till the sleeves completely in the round, so without making any adjustments for armholes or anything, just a big tube up to the shoulders, even without shaping the neckline, just a tube up to here. Then you knit the sleeves also in the round, and once you finished the sleeves, you measure the width of your sleeve and you measure that same distance at the sides of your knitted tube for the body, and you stick it, and then you finish the shoulder seams and put in the sleeves, or you should put in the sleeves a little bit later, but I put in the sleeves, and then you can fit it on, and you can with waste yarn I marked where the neckline should come, and you stick that as well. I used the sewing machine to make sure the roll edges wouldn't fray, but this is yarn I'm quite sure it wasn't needed, but yeah, I did it anyway. And then you knit the neckline, and it's a folded over neckline, so the roll edge is captured in between, so you have no roll edges there. And I will show you in a minute the inside, because also this cutting edge, they made sure you don't have a roll edge at the inside, which is not only a nice look, but also I don't like a cutting edge next to my skin. It will irritate a little bit more easily, so this makes sure it won't. And I'm very happy I finished it. It took me 3 years, I think. Way too long, but it is finished now and I'm very happy with it. I will show you the inside, but first I have to take the sweater off if I want to show you that. So sweater is off. Let me see. So as I said, the neckline, the roll edge is captured inside the folded over neckline. You can choose to, they say just hand stitch it down. That's what I did. You can choose to pick up the stitches and knit those stitches together, but it's really hard to see where those stitches are, especially with so much float going on, so I just stitched it down and it was quite easy to do. And for the armholes, you have a cutting edge over here because you made a hole for the sleeve, but on the sleeve you knit a little piece of stockinette stitch and you stitch it down on the body so you don't have the raw edge to your skin. And that's really nice. So no raw edges or seams anywhere. Of course there are like shoulder seams, and of course this is attached, but no raw edges or anything. So that's really nice. It's way too warm right now because we have degrees like 20 Celsius at the moment for almost, I think, even more than a week now. So it's way too warm to wear this sweater. I used wool centrum yarn, Z-plied yarn. It's twisted the other way around than you're used to with a normal 2 or 3 ply. Yeah, the yarn untwists a little when you're knitting with it, at least in my case, but it makes it like a really smooth texture, so I kind of like it. And yeah, very happy that this is off my needles, and this is one of the reasons why last episode didn't make sense to me anymore. I know for you it doesn't matter, but to me it didn't make sense anymore because I was talking about finishing the sweater in the episode, and once I was uploading it, the sweater was finished, and I was like, but I want to show you that it's finished, not that I'm going to finish it. So I just thought I will make another episode next week and I can show the finished object. So that's really nice. So I knitted on something else that is not a finished object, but like really small parts that are finished to be a big project. This is a pile of double knitted squares, or they're not completely square but like almost square. I double knitted these, so they are reversible, which is really nice. And these are patches that are designed also by Arne and Carlos. This is just the second thing I made from them. It looks like I am like the big Arne and Carlos knitter, but this is just the second project I made from them, and the other one took 3 years. So yeah, but they designed patches because they had to go in quarantine. That's a difficult word. Because they have been traveling, so it was precaution. Right now we already know that Carlos had COVID-19, but he's recovering, so that's really nice to hear. But they were starting to design those patches to kill time and to make this period a little bit nicer for us. So yeah, I'm not going to show them all, but they're all little squares and with a motif on it. It's really nice. I used not the colors I usually use. They're a lot brighter and more contrasting than I'm used to. This was all leftover cotton because I had a period a long time ago that I was making stuffed animals when I was crocheting a lot. But it was laying in my stash doing nothing. Knitting color work with it isn't the greatest thing because you easily get gaps in between colors. And I will try it one day, but my experience with knitting a garment with cotton isn't the best because cotton has really different properties than wool, not only in the sense of wool is warmer than cotton, but also in how the fabric behaves. So wool tends to stretch downwards and cotton tends to stretch sideways in a knitted garment. And I don't have really great experiences with that, but maybe I will try again someday. But I had a really lot of these colors of scraps or almost full skeins. And with double knitting you don't have floats, but you catch you're knitting two pieces together at the same time, and you switch the colors around, so you don't have a float, but you knit that thread on the other side of your double knitted piece, if that makes sense to you. So you don't have the holes you get when you do normal color work. And they suggested you could do them double knitting, so that's really nice. Those are 15 squares and I have 3 to go. I have one over here I'm working at at the moment. Let me see if I can grab it. The squares are knitted flat, so I took out my really old straight needles. I don't use them that much, but they come in handy sometimes. So this is the batch I'm working on right now, and I have 2 more to go. I was really good in keeping up with everyday knitting, but I got distracted, and this is from last Monday, so I'm behind, and the other 2 patches are already out. The only thing they didn't reveal is how to attach them all. I do know it's gonna be a scarf if you do not the double knitting but just normal color work for those. You can also choose to make a cushion out of it, which is really nice, but it would be a shame that you have 2 finished sides, like 2 beautiful sides, and hide one side in a cushion. So I'm going to make the scarf, and I'm really happy with that. So 2 more to go after this one. And yeah, I did another thing, and I will show you. I think this is the best way to see. They had 2 batches with like words on it. One with love and one with hug me later. And when you do just a normal double knitting, you get it in reverse on the back side. But with words I don't like that, because then you have like a wrong side. Well, you don't have to have a wrong side because it's finished, like it's all knitted and beautiful. Only your words are like mirrored, and I didn't want that. So it took me some time, but I figured out a way to make it completely reversible. I'm not going to explain how I did this. On my Instagram I was kind of able to explain it, but I don't think I will make a good job out of that right now. So I think more people have invented this, and there are YouTube videos on it for sure. I didn't Google it, I just made up my own thing, and it worked, so that's really nice. And it makes it completely reversible. So also with the love, which is a lot harder to see with the contrasting colors, they're not contrasting enough. But yeah, it's completely reversible, so that's really nice, I think. So almost done. This is not like my preferred project. One is because the colors are really bright, and I think it will be really fun, but it's out of my comfort zone, so that's one thing. I think I would have done the edges differently. Now I know how they turn out, but once you finish the view, I'm not gonna switch around the way I do my edges, so it's just something I will have to deal with when I put them together. And cotton is not my favorite material to work with while knitting, and I don't know, it's harder on my hands. I don't mind it. I have another project on the go in cotton, I will show you in a minute, and I don't mind it over there, but your tension is quite stiff, I think you say that, in this type of project, and you have 2 colors to think of, and it isn't my favorite, but I really like how it's turning out, and I can't wait to have the finished project. And what's really fun is that it is like remembrance piece of this crazy time. So yeah, I'm gonna finish it, and I do enjoy it, but it's not my favorite at the moment. But I did quite a lot. I had 3 weeks in between the recording you saw last and this time, so it's not strange that I did quite some knitting. So, as I said, I did kind of get distracted with other things. One thing is this shawl I'm knitting on. I will put the name and the designer on the screen. It's a textured main part, and on the edge, once you finish the main part, there will be an edge of, do you say ruffles? Yeah, I think you say ruffles. Which looks really cool. So I'm looking forward to knitting on this project a lot. It's a really fun construction. It's on a circular needle, so it's hard to show, but you cast on, like on the top part, all these stitches. So it's not crescent shape where you start with a few stitches and increasing, so you get like more and more stitches, and you have a lot of stitches down on the edge, and you knit a lace border or whatever. But in this case you knit a straight long, you cast on a lot of stitches, so you have a really long piece, which is the top part of your shawl, so that will be the part closest to your head, to your neck. And then you're going to decrease stitches, so you get like a triangle, and then you pick up stitches along this edge and knit the border. So it's a different construction than most shawls in this kind of shape, and I really do like it. I know not everybody likes casting on a lot of stitches, but I get that. But the fun thing is, your rows get smaller every row, so you have less stitches every row, so it looks like you're making progress every time a little bit faster. So that's kind of a fun experience. I have this pattern memorized now, so that's really nice. I can kind of knit it mindlessly now. At the center, let me see, it's also fun. It's like a, how do you call this shape? Diamond shape. It's along the center of the shawl, and yeah, it's really fun to work on. This yarn is hand dyed by me. It's not available anymore. It's a single ply base, worsted weight, in a fiber blend of BFL and Messam. And yeah, I really like it, but it was a base that didn't really sell, so I thought I will take the last few skeins out and use it myself. That's not really the worst thing to do, so that's really fun. And I really like, it was a bit of a guess, but I really like how the color works out in the pattern. I was afraid you were not able to see it that well, but it's really fun how it turned out, so that's really nice. And let me continue, because I have more things I've worked on. It looks like I have done really a lot, but I casted some things on, which always adds up to the works in progress and things to show. And I had a week more, so that also adds up in how much I can show you. Let's continue to something that I was already working on, and I'm very happy to say that I worked on this again. It's my flax lights out of CaMaRose fynd lamauld, which is a blend of which is a blend of llama fiber and wool fiber. I really love this color. It's warm rosa, which translates to warm pink, I think. And it's growing quite a lot. I get this every time I show this. It does fit me. It looks really small, but it does fit me. Especially the neckline looks very small, but there is really a lot of stretch. It fits over my head. I can block it out even a bit if I don't like it tight around my neck, but for now I don't mind. So that's that. I'm working on the body at the moment, and I'm thinking of picking up a sleeve to see how that fits. But I'm not sure yet. The main thing I have to do now is find the right length for me. I didn't even look at the pattern anymore. I knitted completely in pattern, especially for the way I did the increases. I did a little bit different, but the amount of increases and everything I did according to pattern. But now it's just knitting it around until you have the right length, and I'm going to make it right for me. So not looking at the pattern for which length I should have, because that's only distracting. Very happy I'm working on this again. The reason is that I used the same needle size on my husband's sweater, and unlike most knitters, I don't have a lot of needles. I do have almost all the sizes, but in an interchangeable set. Some I have on straight needles, but most, or on fixed circulars, but most I do have on my interchangeables. I do own quite some cables with my interchangeables, so when I have multiple projects on the same needle size, I put cable stoppers or a stitch marker through this hole, which also works as a cable stopper, but I put a stopper on my cable, I take the needles off and I put it on my other project. But in case of my husband's sweater and this one, I really wanted to knit on this one and not on the other sweater. So the needles were on this project and the other one didn't get any love. So what I made a promise to myself that I will continue this one once I was finished with the needles on my husband's sweater, and it worked because it's finished, and now I can work on this again. I was thinking about ordering more needle tips, but it doesn't add up in my mind because I don't need extra needle tips. The only thing is I have to change them around, and that's not really that much work, so I didn't do that. So I felt quite good about that. So I do own a lot of sizes, but not a lot of needles, and most of the times I kind of search for patterns in different needle sizes I'm working on the same time. So most of my projects I'm working on have different needle sizes, which is quite nice because I don't have to switch my tips around. But yeah, it works fine. I don't have a problem with it. But I'm very happy this gets more love now. Also, this one is not really for this season, I think, especially because of the llama fiber, because the llama hair is hollow on the inside, so it's really good isolation, and it will be really warm. Although most wools and other isolating fibers can also keep you cool, but I think this will get me really warm instead of cool. But yeah, we will see. I don't mind working on this in the heat though. Sometimes a woolly fiber can get like irritating my skin when I'm knitting it in the sun. With this I don't have that problem, so that's really nice. And I love how the color is not just one color but really tonal. I really like it. And yeah, we will see how fast this will be finished. I think a lot faster than 3 years. I'm quite sure. Oh, something else. I'm on my second skein. And it's not like the right length yet. But it's also not like really far off. I think I need to knit like 15 centimeters more or something like that. And I'm just on my second skein, and it's not like I'm almost through my second skein. There is still quite a lot of yarn on this second skein. So yeah, it surprised me because there's like 200, no, let me see, I have the bobbins right here. There is on a 50-gram skein, so it is not even a 100 grams, but a 50-gram skein is 220 meters. So that's a little bit more than the standard fingering weight yarn. But like, I wasn't expecting to knit this much out of only 2 skeins. So that's really nice. I think I will have a ton left over. Which I don't mind because I love this color and I will knit other things out of it. Yeah, really fun. We're still not done yet. Let me see. I did not work on my socks, so we can skip those. I did collect some projects that I started, not some project, just one project. I put it away because it is a lace shawl that I started last summer, and when it got colder I didn't really feel working on it. In the same way I started mittens for my husband late this winter, which are not finished, and I won't finish it with this kind of weather. I just don't see myself knitting mittens in summer. So same way I didn't saw myself knitting a lace shawl in winter. But I took it out again. I did not work on it yet. I have to look for the chart and see where I am in the chart to pick this up again. But yeah, I'm putting beads in there. It's a free pattern on Ravelry and it's just really fun to do. I was thinking of ripping it out. I'm not quite sure yet, but I think I will just finish it. The reason I maybe want to rip out is that I don't like the transition from the garter stitch to the lace, and I think that can be done way more beautiful, and I don't know if that's going to annoy me a lot or not. So maybe this gets frogged and I will use it for something else, but we will see. Maybe I will just finish it and it will be a nice scarf. So we will see. But I took it out again and I put it in my works in progress basket again. So we will see what happens. I'm knitting this out of a single ply lace weight yarn. A really subtle pastel colors. There's pink and green and blue and grey in there, but really in very light tones. So we will see. I'm not sure yet, but we will see what happens. It's on my radar again, so that's a good thing. something I didn't work on but wanted to show. And let me see, there's still things in my basket. I didn't work on the mittens. I'm going to take it out of my basket, I think. And that is my cozy memories I'm not going to show, but I do have one more project over here. I started my very first pie shawl ever. A pie shawl, for those who don't know, it's really hard to show now. It's a circular shawl, started in the middle, and then you increase in a certain rate, so you get a full circle scarf, shawl I should say, which is really fun. And I really enjoy working on it. It's growing quite fast in the beginning, and then it slows down because every several rows your stitches will double. So I started out with 9 stitches, and when I was over here I already had 144 stitches. So I'm now working 288 stitches. Just over here, that's changed again, and I really enjoy working on this, although this is not a yarn I should choose when I was in the yarn store now. It's really old stash. It's a skein that's going to change in color, and I think that will be really fun. Oh, that's the camera. And it will be really fun. This is a skein I bought when I was knitting for maybe a year, maybe a little bit longer. And we were on holiday, and it was the first time I was thinking about yarn as a souvenir. So I had a project in mind which didn't work out, so I ripped it out. I have 2 skeins of this, and I was thinking of making some color work with the colors in reverse. It was a funny idea, but this is a cotton blend, and I think there's acrylic in there. I don't have the ball band, so I can't say for sure, but I am not by the feel of it, I'm sure, but by thinking back what I paid for it, I think there is acrylic in here. It was laying around in my stash, and I really didn't know what to do with it. But then, I don't know, sometimes I have yarn in mind to make something beautiful, but it takes me a lot of time to figure out what it will be, so which item I will make out of that yarn. Sometimes I have a pattern in mind, and it takes me quite some time to find the yarn for it. But this was laying in my stash, and I just woke up one day and was thinking, I'm going to make a pie shawl out of it. So that's going to happen. I'm very happy I have 2, because I'm not sure. I'm knitting on quite a loose gauge. I'm not sure if this will be enough to finish the complete shawl, but because I have 2, I can add the other skein and starting on the dark color and knitting it back to the green. So we will see, but yeah, it's really fun to do, and it's nice to think back on a holiday. So I remember the cottage we stayed in. I remember things we did with the boys and those things. So good thing that it that I woke up and know what to do with it. So it's really nice. I think it's working. The lace is turning out quite okay in this yarn. It's holding its shape, and I'm very happy with that, because I was afraid, because it's quite slippery in a way, that it wouldn't hold up, but it's holding up fine. And yeah, I really love working on this. And I don't mind the touch of this yarn. Where I said I don't really like working with the cotton, I do like working with this yarn, strangely. But yeah, only nice, because when you don't like the touch of the yarn you're working with, it can distract you from the pleasant pattern you're making. So very happy with that. And I think those were all the things I'm working on. I did some repairment sewing, so there were holes in trousers and those kind of things. I started a skirt quite a long time ago out of scraps I had laying around. I had leftover fabric from a black pants or trousers I was making, and I just made an easy gathered skirt out of it, and it was way too short, so I added a lace border, which I also had laying around, so it will look longer. It's the length is fine. I don't mind short skirts. And the only thing I had to do was putting in a zipper, so I put in the zipper. I only have to hand sew the under over here. I really find it hard to make a zipper continue. The bottom part of the zipper I find really annoying to sew in, and when I do it on my machine I'm never happy, so I was thinking I will try it by hand, so that's the only thing that has to happen, and I have to sew in the edges of the zipper at the top. That's why there are pins over here. But yeah, I enjoyed designing this because I didn't choose a pattern. I could do the gathers more neatly, but I think I'm the only person that's going to be bothered by it. So, and I'm not looking at myself all of the time, so I think no one will notice it. Yeah, so that's something I have been working on a little bit. It's really hard to do sewing with everybody in the house because I need to clear my mind for it and have my space and stuff, so that's not happening a lot, but those little things like sewing in a zipper or some repairments, that's quite okay to do. Let me see. I got a feeling I'm showing you really a lot of stuff, but yeah. I am planning on sewing something, and I don't have the pattern over here, so maybe I will pop in a picture. I am not sure because it's out of a magazine, so I will have to take a picture of the picture. We will see, but it's like it's a dress, but like a really plain dress with some interesting seams, visible seams, and I'm thinking of making it out of everything's falling down. I'm thinking of making it out of this dark denim. I think it will be really fun. I think I'm not going to do a contrasting sewing thread for the seams because I'm not that good yet, and I think I will, when you're using contrasting seams and you mess up, it's really visible, and I think when I use just the black threads you will still see the seams, but it won't be that visible if my stitching isn't that nice. So I'm thinking of that, but as I said, it's quite hard to do sewing with everybody in the house at the moment. The space I'm recording this over here are my stuff, so my knitting machine and my sewing machine and my cutting table, everything is over here in a corner, and my husband's space is just over there. We have a huge printer over here and his workspace is right next to it, and he's working from home a lot, so yeah, I'm not going to sit here, and there's space for the boys to play, but when he's working over there, I don't think it's a good idea to have them play over here, especially when he's calling a lot of people. And I don't think it's a good idea to have the sewing machine on then, or like the boys are playing, I don't want to put my fabric out on the ground because they will just walk over it. So I will need to have an empty house for that, and that will take some time, but it's nice to have ideas. About my knitting machine, I think maybe I will record a little episode in the quite foreseeable future about not like a how-to, but more like my experiences with a knitting machine and what kind of things you should be thinking of when you're going to buy one or use one. I think not everybody understands what it really is, and I think it's fun to show people. The only thing I have to think about is the setup, because you want to see what the needles are doing, you want to see what my hands are doing, and it should be like a decent view, like not from up above or something. I don't think that will be appropriate. So I will have to think a little bit about that, but that's something I want to do. I'm still knitting on the scarf, but that's the same, it's up here, so there's not that much time to work on that right now. I am on row, I will have a sneak. I am on row 161 and like 40-50 centimeters in. Not finished yet. I think I want to make it as long as possible, but I do have a lot of yarn, so maybe I will just make yeah, we will see, but it's really fun to do, and I noticed that by doing it every now and then, you get to know your machine and you understand it a lot better, at least I do. Like for example, sometimes I have a problem with my needles not going through in the way they should, and then it just jams your machine and everything, and I just know now which handle is stuck and how to fix it. So it's quite a technical thing, but it's really, really fun. So I think that is everything. I think that's everything. So I think that's everything. I will just leave it at that then. I hope everybody stays healthy and safe. The better we stay at home, the sooner this will all be over. So stay safe, stay at home, and I will see you in about 2 weeks. Same as last time. I hope to be able to record every 2 weeks, but I'm not quite sure if we will find the time for that, but we will see. I hope to see you in 2 weeks, and I hope you have the same nice weather we do over here, because it's gorgeous. Not too hot, but still sunny. I love it. Okay, I'm really going. Bye!